Hi everybody, it's Maria Clark at Sweet Willow Designs and welcome to my studio. Hey, it's a dollar store challenge. I hope you enjoy this project. We've been challenged by Shemi Dixon, and I'll have a link to her channel below, to see what we could create from dollar store supplies. Our limit was to spend $15 and to use as many of the dollar store supplies as we could. Shemi is hosting this this event, and I hope you'll check out all of the artists and the links that I'll have in my description below. She's also hosting a giveaway, so she'll have both international and U.S. For U.S. it'll be $20 gift certificate to a Dollar Tree, and for international it'll be a $20 PayPal. And I'll have all of the information down below so that you can participate in that giveaway. Lots of fun going on. This was a really fun challenge. The rules for this challenge were to spend no more than $15 at the dollar store, and you could use other supplies from your stash. I decided to go with everything from the dollar store. So I started with these playing cards. I have this craft string that came in some really bright, fun colors. These pony beads, also lots of bright colors. I even found a hole punch. Now, if you didn't find a hole punch at your dollar store, because sometimes you can't find everything, you can use a skewer or something to punch a hole, and we'll see that when I get to it. Tacky glue, and the foam craft sheets that came in also bright colors. So even the scissors I'm using are from the Dollar Tree. So I think I spent about $7, and here's a plastic sheet that we'll need. So again, quick look at all the supplies. So I'm starting with this deck of cards, and as I said, there are lots of different casinos that I was able to find at the dollar store, but I really liked this one. So we'll take this deck of cards, and we're going to use the ace to make a template, and then we will take out the tens and all of the face cards, a couple of the aces as well. So I'll just get all my cards situated. And I've got those all done. The first thing is to start cutting, and there's quite a bit of cutting here. Oh, hey, look what I found. There's a little advertisement for the casino, for the nugget. That's cool. So at any rate, I've got these face cards, and I'm going to start cutting them because I'm going to use the faces and also the suit. So I'm going to cut these cards. All the cards I've found at the dollar store have this border around them. So I'll just cut on the border. And one thing I wanted to mention is you need to cut so that you can save those, the suits, the Jack, Queen, and King. So just cut in such a way that you can reuse those. And then we'll simply trim these up. And I'm going to go ahead and do all of them just for ease of use, and so I have some variety, but honestly I won't use them all. So here we are, just finishing up cutting these final pieces. In my deck there was this cool ace of spades, and I'm going to use that as the large spade as a template, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut around that and make a template, because I'm going to actually use that template to cut out one of the elements of the necklace. And I have all of the tens from each of the suits, and I'm going to go ahead and place my template so I have, as much of the in this case the diamonds or hearts or clubs or spades on the actual cutout. And I'll just cut around. I'm just freehanding it. I didn't bother to trace it. I'm just going to freehand it. So I'll cut all the way around that. And I will do that for each of the 4 suits. And the way I place this on there, I think you can see, yeah, you can see I've tried to get as many of the, the suit on the template as I possibly could. So go ahead and cut out 4 of those, and they're going to create a fun element in the final necklace. All right, so I've got all those cut out, and now I've got my playing cards, and I actually am going to cut these in half you'll notice that there are two faces on each card. And the cards I saw, you could pretty much tell where the center is. I wouldn't worry about marking these over much, but you can kind of see where the center is, kind of right. You can see there's some marking usually that marks the center. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut those. And I'm going to cut all of the cards. Now, I'm only going to end up using about 12, but I want to be able to have a nice variety of color between the black and the red. So I'll just go ahead and cut those. I've got those all cut out, and now it's time to cut the last of my elements. And what I'm doing is using the name of the face card, in this case the Ace of Spades, and I'm cutting it pretty close to, kind of out of frame there, but you can see I'm cutting it pretty close, so I just have sort of a narrow strip, and there's a little bit better. You can see that a little bit better. And then I will trim it very closely on the top. And for the bottom, I'm going to make a little arrow shape. So again, just freehanding this. But so I've got a little shape like an arrow. And you can see how closely I've sort of trimmed it against each of the letters. Go ahead and do another one so you can see that again. We'll end up using, I think, 11 of these. And you want a nice mix. And then you go ahead and trim those. Now I have all of my pieces cut. And what I need to do now is sort of design the necklace. So I'm going to use one of these craft foam sheets. And I've got each of my pieces here. I've got my tacky glue. I've got a heavy book because we will need that. And you can see the nice colors in the foam pack. I'm just going to choose a color that's complementary. In this case, I liked the yellow, so I'm going to go ahead and use the yellow. You'll need your tacky glue, your foam sheet, and your cutouts. And now I'm just going to lay these out to kind of design them. And for the very first row, I'm going to curve this a little bit because it is going to be a neck piece, so I want to give it sort of that necklace shape. And you can see that I'm just offsetting these a little bit. This is not precision work here, so just get a little bit of a curve. You can see that I've got that curve going there. And I'll just angle those until I get a curve that I want. So I've got 5 on the first row, and I'm alternating the red and the black face card, and then I will add and alternate red and black for the second row, and I'll use 4 cards for the second row. On the third row, I'll use 3 cards, and again, just alternate black and red. And the final row, or the final of the base row, I will use these little cutouts. Oh, whoop. I'm just showing you how I'm going to take each of those little letter cutouts and use them. I'm just kind of spacing that out a little bit. So I'll use those every place that there's a space. Just kind of checking out how it's going to fit so I know how close to make my pieces. Okay, we'll put those aside. And now I've got my 4 kind of the spade shapes that I cut out here, and I will just start placing those. This is just going to give it a little bit of interest and shape to the necklace. And I'll end up using the 4 that I cut out. And you can see it ends up looking like that. So that's my basic design. Now I can start moving these slightly out of the way, but kind of keeping them in the same sort of order so that I can start to glue these down. I was able to find tacky glue at the Dollar Tree that I go to. Sometimes they have Mod Podge, sometimes they have other liquid glue. I just was lucky to run into the tacky glue because they don't always stock the same things, forever. They change up their inventory. So I'm just putting a little bit out here, and I'll start to glue this down. take each of the pieces and just start to apply the glue on the back. I debated with myself whether I should just go ahead and put a whole bunch of glue on the base piece and then stick my pieces down, and I decided that this might work a little bit better. I think you could try it either way and see how it worked out. So I'll take each one of my pieces and I will just get them glued down. Keeping the same pattern from the way we designed it. I'm going to speed this up quite a lot because you don't need to see me glue all of this together here. But here I'm going to just keep putting each one of these down. One thing that I noticed as I was working with this is that, first of all, I've got a baby wipe there because this is really messy. If you guys know a better way to get the glue down, I use my fingers for everything, so I get a bit messy, so I have to keep wiping it off as I go through the gluing process. But I'll just get these glued down. I noticed that as I was doing this, they did start to curl, and that's why I have the plastic wrap and the heavy book, because I did have to do this in a couple of stages, just so I could get them kind of laminated to the piece, to the foam piece, and I knew that they were well adhered, and then I was able to let that dry. So I've got my main pieces there, and I'm going to go ahead and put these spade shapes in. And this will create the base layer. Get that last piece on there. And just slip that under that section. Okay, so that's the first gluing. I do have my plastic sheet, just making sure I'm actually putting a little extra glue where they started to curl a little bit. Taking my plastic sheet, and this won't stick, and then I'm putting a heavy book on top. And I will go ahead and let that rest for a little bit. Now, I let it rest for several hours, but the glue's not dry because it's really, there's no air getting to it really, but it's starting to stick, and it's doing a pretty good job of sticking to the foam. Where it hasn't completely stuck, I'm just adding a little bit of extra glue here. I'm just checking my edges and adding a little bit of extra glue so I can make sure that all of the pieces are really stuck down well. Now I'm going to add this next layer, which are these little arrow pieces with the king, queen, jack, and ace, and they're just filling in those little gaps. And I think it's starting to look really fun to have that extra element on it. So I'll just start to alternate again like I did with the others, the red and the black, and get those glued down. I'm going to fast forward this though, so you can see that I'll glue them all down, but it'll go really quickly. The cards that I think I was mentioning, they actually have quite a few different card sets at the Dollar Tree over by me, and lots of different casinos. They sell these, they're marked so that they know that they can't be played in the casinos, but they're from all the different casinos. So there's some from the casinos here in Colorado and Las Vegas, etc. And it's really fun to see the different cards. They're not all the same in terms of the designs for the face cards, etc. So I'm using a baby wipe just to take off some of the extra glue. And I will again cover this with the plastic wrap and the heavy book, and I'll set that aside for a while. Okay, I've come back and it's dry. I can take a baby wipe and take off a little if I got any extra glue on. These are laminated so that it will come off. And then I'm just going to start to trim this really, really close. I don't really want any of that yellow showing on the edges, so I'm going to do a good job of trimming that. Pretty simple, straightforward here. So we'll just keep trimming this and make sure you've cut it as close as you can. And once it's all trimmed, we're ready to move on to the next steps. I've got the string here, and I've decided that I'm going to use the dark blue. And I'm going to measure 30 inches actually for each length of cord. And I'll have actually 3 lengths on each side of the neck piece. So I'm just measuring out 30 inches. You could make this longer if you wanted, so this is going to be a little bit adjustable, and it just ties. It's a simple clasp closure, rather. It ties in the back. So I will go ahead and cut 3 for each side, 3 lengths for each side. And now that I have those cut, I'll straighten them up a little bit, and I'm ready to choose the pony beads. There's so many different colors in this bead pack, so let me look at them a little bit and see which ones I want to use. Thinking I'm going to use these dark blue, and we'll need 4 of those dark blue for the full piece. And here's the hole punch. Now I mentioned that if you can't find the hole punch, you can use a skewer or some kind of knitting needle or something just to make a hole on each one of these corners. But I've got this hole punch, so I will make the hole on each corner. And you can see that it's right at the tip. It's not way close because I don't want it to tear. And I will take this length, one of the 3 strands, 30 inches each, and just thread it through the hole, and then put it in half. And then I will tie a knot very close to the edge of the neck piece. Just a simple overhand knot. Then I will thread one of these pony beads because it's going to cover up that knot, and it's going to give a little bit more interest to the necklace. Now I know this is a novelty piece, it's not really meant to last. It's meant to be kind of fun. Wear this if you play cards or go into a casino or whatever. But I want to cover up that knot and make it look as nice as I can. So we'll do the exact same thing on the other side. And just put that in half, make equal lengths, and tie a knot again. And put the pony bead on. And we've got each side done. I think that does look nicer with the pony bead covering up the knot. Now what we'll do is finish off each end. And again, I mentioned this is just a simple tie closure. So about 3 inches from the edge, I'm going to tie an overhand knot. And thread a pony bead on. And tie another overhand knot very close to the pony bead. So the pony bead is got a knot on each side of it. And that just is going to give us a little bit of a finished end. Makes it look a little bit nicer, and it will be easier to tie. Okay. So we've got that, and we will do the exact same thing on the other side so that the 2 ends are finished. Now what we're going to do is just trim off the excess, and I'm leaving about 1 inch of thread. So we'll just trim those off. And that'll neaten up the ends. Now the last step that I'm going to do to finish up this piece is to use a little bit of glue on these knots to sort of secure those pony beads. So I'll just add, glue at the knot and slip the bead over it. and that'll just give it a little extra security and keep it from moving around so much. We'll do that on the ends as well. Just a little bit of extra security. And I will set that aside to dry. It's dried, and here's what the finished piece looks like. I think it looks really fun. Really fun. I want to thank you for joining me. I appreciate you as always. Thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing, giving me a thumbs up, leaving a comment. Take care.